はい。届きました。あ、皆さん、こんにちは。こんにちは。
こんにちは。
こんにちは。すごい時間がない中で大変だったと思うんですけれども、どうでした？ちょっと誰か感想を聞かせていただいたら嬉しいんですけれど。まあ、一言二言。もう何差し、レオさんじゃあお願いします。なんかマイクが開いてるみたいな。はい。
Should I speak Japanese or English?
English would be better.
Okay. Sorry, my pronunciation is so not good, but it was so exciting for us because it is the first time to do internship, but it was, yeah, actually it was so busy and we are so exhausted now, but yeah, but we are so happy to have this right situation, not how to say. You know what I mean. So
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
we are so happy to meet you. So thank you for everyone.
Thank you. Thank you for your comment. Seems very intense questions this time, but とてもちょっとすごくコンパクトで忙しいかもしれないですけれども、今日の楽しみにしていて。今日は、アデリーナがちょっと遅れてきたんですけれども、まあ、タンザニアの方からも、デイビッドのミスター・グリッシュにまた、アドバイスをもらいます。大丈夫そうかな、皆さん。はい。じゃあ、じゃあ、ミスター・グリッシュ、早速始めますね。もし何も質問にチャットボックスは全然使ってください。こちらの方でもできるだけこう、今で書けるように頑張ります。はい。じゃあ、質問とか始めます。ちょっとクリスから何かあるみたいなので。はい。OK、はいはい。ありがとうございます。ちょっとクリスさん始めなかったので、ちょっと始めます。OK、Mr. Chris? Yeah, can you please start?
Sure. So thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I hope all of you are doing really great. First of all, wish you a very happy Diwali from the India side. That was a festival which we have celebrated yesterday. So our plan for today is that we will go through both the business ideas in terms of details, where if you can share me what you prepared for both the SWOT analysis for the idea number 1 and idea number 2, and as well as the business model canvas, that how you put together some of these things. So we will discuss both the things in detail. And then in the last, what I would also like to cover with all of you is that in the current age, where technology plays a very, very important role in any business to make it successful and grow very fast, what are the different things which you can further take care, which can really help you in terms of grow the business further and take them to the next level. So that's how we have planned our session for today. So I would request if first team can share their thoughts both on the SWOT analysis and as well as on the business model canvas, and then we will discuss that, and then we will do same thing for the second team. Okay, so first team, can you please share your thoughts, what you prepared yesterday?
Can I see the screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I start?
Please go ahead.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Hello. I will talk about our team name is ICT. My name is Yama.
and my name is Ron.
Hey,
My
hi,
name
Amma.
I'm Misaki.
Hi, Misaki.
Okay, today we will talk about our new business idea in Tanzania.
Great.
Okay, this is our agenda. First, we will talk about business idea in Tanzania, and next, current situation, and next, SWOT analysis, and fourth, action plan, and last, good business opportunity. Okay.
Fantastic.
Yes. Before we start, I have a question. Do you have a smartphone? If you have, please raise your hand. Thanks. I think almost all people have smartphones. In fact, the percentage of owning a smartphone is 183% in Japan. That means a lot of people have more than 2 smartphones. Also, look at this graph. This graph indicates the number of people having a smartphone in Africa. According to this graph, as of 2040, about 90% of people have a smartphones. Moreover, look at the next slide. This slide details the transition of having mobile phones in sub-Saharan Africa. According to this graph, they estimate 49% of people have mobile phone as of 2020. So the number of phone users in Africa is increasing gradually. However, there is only one company manufacturing smartphones. Also, this company was established currently. That is why we focus on the fact that Tanzania has mineral resources to create smartphone and decide to get funds from investor to establish a new company. Creating a new mobile phone company is a good business plan in Tanzania. That is about current situation in Tanzania. I'd like to call Ron to talk about the SWOT analysis about the action plan. Please.
Thank you, Yama. And as Yama said before, our business model is to create a new mobile phone company in Tanzania and sell products not only in Tanzania, but also in Africa. Mobile phones such as Samsung and Huawei are widely used in Africa, but we thought that by offering products at lower prices, we would be able to establish our superiority in Africa, which has numerous low. Now I'm going to describe the SWOT analysis of our business plan. First of all, I'm going to talk about the strengths. As you can see, there are available mineral resources in Tanzania. Unlike companies in other countries, resource transport costs can be reduced. Next, I'm going to talk about opportunities. Firstly, the number of phone users in Africa is increasing, and this is not expected to go down. Therefore, it can be said that Africa is a good market. The other one is there are enough sites to build factories. Since we haven't been to Tanzania, so we can't say it for sure, but as we can see from the map, the country is large and there are places to build factories. For the weakness, the first one is there are a lot of initial costs. High costs are required to build factories and prepare the machines to create products. The other one is Tanzanians don't have knowledge and skills to create mobile phones. Therefore, they need to learn from someone who has technical skills. Finally, I'd like to talk about the threat. It is the existence of rivals. There are many mobile companies around the world and one in Africa. We have to compete with them. Now I'm going to talk about action plan. There are 4 things to do. The first one is building factories and preparing facilities to create the product. Without these, it is impossible to create products, but it costs a lot of money as an initial cost. Therefore, we need investors. And since there is no technology, someone needs to provide the skills. As an idea, we suggest that Japanese electronic companies such as Panasonic, Sony help them. For example, sending engineers from Japan or establishing a training school in Tanzania. I'd like to call Misaki for our last part.
Thank you, Ron. Look at this map, and it is a business model canvas. We explained it before, Ron and Yama.
Okay. Can you explain like section one by one, if that is okay?
One by one. Yes. Just a moment.
So I think we have discussed already the partners and
Yes.
your action plan, but can you read what is your thoughts on the customer side and on the cost and revenue?
Our customer is African people, not only Tanzania, and channel is store. これ私動かしたら変わる？何が？Store sales is our channel to sell our phones, and our customer segment is people live in low-income countries. Okay. Because our strategy is cheaper phones.
Okay.
Okay. We will talk the next. So in Tanzania, there are available mineral resources. There is increasing demand. Tanzania phone user is increasing. But there is no company to create domestic phones. So we thought there is an opportunity for our business plan to succeed. Our plan needs a huge amount of money to build factories and facilities. Our team concludes that our business plan brings big opportunities. If you don't have enough money to go to school, you can learn using smartphones. If you want to do a new business, you can do it. we have the possibility to become a big company like Samsung. It is very difficult for Tanzanians to make it happen. Would you like to invest in a great business plan? Thank you for listening.
So, team, I think all of you have done really a great job. So, in terms of your thought process, which is very much clearer than yesterday. So, congratulations for doing a great job. What I would like to do now is let's discuss some of the points in a little bit more detail. So, I've got some thoughts on your points. So, if we can go back to the SWOT analysis slide. Great. Okay. So first of all, the research which you have done in terms of opportunity, that yes, the market size is increasing, both in terms of penetration and in terms of the number of people who are using the phone. So definitely there is a market. So the analysis which you have done on the opportunity side is very appropriate and it's in the right direction. But when it comes to the strength, I think that's where we might have to do a little bit more work, because it's not very clearly linked. The point which you mentioned is to the company for the mobile phone manufacturing which we are going to set up. So your point says that Tanzania has a lot of mineral resources available, which will be helpful in creating mobile phone. That's actually indirectly linked. That's not linked directly. So in terms of strength, we need to work a little bit more. So in my view, if I can give examples, the first strength could be that in the team, like when you hire the team, you might already have someone who understands the mobile phone manufacturing business very well. So someone who has come from, let's say, companies like Panasonic or Samsung and such kind of companies. So that might be a big strength, that we understand that how exactly this business from a manufacturing perspective will work. So that could be one strength. The second strength, which you could have been mentioned, if you, let's say, if we do a little bit more research on the government policies over there. So is the government helping the business to set up over there? So for example, are they giving some benefits to the business houses to set up their things? It could be tax benefits, it could be getting a right land, it could be getting some other help from the government side. So are those strengths available, that your cost of setup might be less if government is willing to help over there? So that could be a one macro factor which could we also have put in over there. The third strength, third area where we could have been a little bit more research is on the technology know-how, right? Whether we clearly know that what kind of innovation or a research which is required to set up this kind of business, and is this our strength right now? So as I mentioned yesterday, if it could have been thought from a perspective of team availability, from a perspective of technology availability, and from a perspective of other macro factors, those three things one by one, and we put in the think through the strengths on those areas, that might would have been very helpful. Right? So does this make sense to you?
Yes.
Yeah. So now let's talk about a little bit more on the weakness side, right? So you have rightly mentioned that this kind of setup requires a huge initial investment, because when we want to set up a mobile phone, which are very, very cheap in nature or which are at the lower price range. So those kind of mobile phones we need to always produce in bulk, because if we don't produce in bulk, that business might not be profitable. So to produce those mobile phones in really bulk quantity, your setup needs to be huge. So to have that kind of setup, definitely the initial cost will be very high. So that you mentioned very, very correctly. So good job over there. And you already identified this could be a weakness, and we can like cover up that weakness with having an action where we can partner with some investors in our business plan. So that's a really good thought. The second one, which you have clearly mentioned, that Tanzanian people don't have knowledge and skills to create mobile phone because yeah. The second one, which you have clearly mentioned, that Tanzanians don't have knowledge and skill to create mobile phones, that might be true because there is only one factory which is available over there. So now what I feel is that your action plan is missing to cover up this weakness, that how you are going to solve this weakness point, because you've already identified. So any thoughts you have on this point, how you are going to cover up this weakness? The second one, the knowledge and skill gap, how we are going to cover up? You can unmute and you can speak, right? If you have any thoughts you want to add now. Okay.
So just
Sorry,
I read the chat.
Yeah, please go ahead. So my question over here is that you know that there is a weakness where knowledge and skills is not available at Tanzania. So my question is that how you are going to meet or manage this weakness? What you are going to do to manage this?
So we think we connect, so like Sony and Panasonic
Yeah.
to so worker in Tanzania on the online, not Zoom, because due to Corona we can't meet. Yes, so we will teach on the online.
Great. So you are saying that you will hire people and then you will get the experienced resources outside the country from companies like Sony and Samsung, and you will conduct the online trainings for the people to manage this gap, right?
Yes.
Great. So I think over there you could have been add that into the plan, that the people which we will hire initially, we will spend a good amount of time to train them in very, very detail. So every resource which we are going to hire might need to go through a certification program or a training program to understand what needs to be built up, right? Or how the mobile phone manufacturing needs to be built up. So that could be a great action which you could have put in your business plan to manage your weakness, because we already know where we are weak, and that's how we can manage this. Yeah, makes sense?
Okay, yes.
Okay. Now
Okay.
let's talk about little bit on the threat side. So this is the area where I think it could have been thought a little bit more, because one threat which is clearly you have mentioned that there are rivals or competitions, which is not only in Tanzania but all over the globe, because companies can export their mobile phones to Tanzania as well. So that's the very big threat. But another one threat which I have is when, as a business strategy, we want to go in a manufacturing setup for the cheap products, right? So cheap product means lesser revenue and less profit also. So your profit per unit of mobile phone will be very less. So the biggest threat over here is that if a small thing also goes wrong in this business plan, you might not be able to run profits from this business or make profit from this business. So that's the biggest threat which typically some these kind of business units have, where cost needs to be managed very effectively, so that your per unit cost is very low, and that can actually you can make some profit out of it. So I think that's a very big point which we could have been added over here. The second threat which I clearly see in this kind of industry is how you will keep innovating, because every 3 months to 6 months we see in market there are many mobile phones which get launched. For example, the phone which I have bought like 6 months ago, there is already two versions of the next phone is available in the market, right? So this has already become older, and every day newer and newer features are coming in. So how you are going to consistently manage the innovation, because when you change your technology, when you do innovation, that translates into the cost also. So in this industry where margins are very low, and the innovation cycle or the product shelf life is very low, that becomes the biggest threat, because any new innovation which comes in into the market after 6 months, that can actually make your entire factory obsolete, right? So the idea over here is that if we note down this thread very well, and then we can say that the entire setup which we are going to do to manage this, that needs to be followed by agile approach. So that could be another action which we could have been taken over here, that because agility, when you read on internet about the agile approach, what it says is that the entire setup and the way we manage everything, it's so agile that as soon as things get changed, we can adopt them very easily. So having an agile approach in everything which we set up in this factory, that could manage this threat very well.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So great job. I think if we add these 3-4 points which I mentioned, this SWOT analysis could become a very realistic SWOT analysis, which if practically someone wants to set up a factory, they would have been done something similar at a high level.
Thank you.
Yeah, great. So can we move to the slide where you put the business model canvas?
Sorry.
Can we move to the next slide where you have the business model canvas?
This.
The next one? Yeah, perfect. So now the couple of points which I would like to also mention here is, I think we have already discussed the first three ones, where how we are going to manage the parameters and activities and resources. So let me little bit talk about now on value proposition and the customer segmentation. So that also plays a very clear role when you set up a business. So what needs to be done over here is you have to very clearly identify that what segment of customers you are going to cater with. So when you see on the mobile phone business, the kind of mobile phone typically age group of people between 15 years to 30 years uses, that is very different from a mobile phone which a age group of people of 40 to 60 years is using, right? When it comes to cheaper mobile phone. So do we also want to make it a little bit more specific that if I put the entire customer into different segments, do I want to manage or serve all the segments or only a particular segment? Okay. Now segment could be based on age of customer. Let's say we can divide the all customers in 3 age buckets, or a segment could be in terms of income of that customer, because typically a customer who has more income, they buy different kind of phones, and people who have lesser income, they buy different kind of phones, right? So you can also classify them into age buckets, and that will become very, very specific that what kind of customer we are going to serve through our products,
Yes.
right? And that
Yes.
is very, very clearly linked to the point which we mentioned below, which is channel, right? So once you identify that what is my customer segment, and then you can see that how exactly that customer behaves in their day-to-day life. So if we, let's say, focus on the segment of the customer which is between 15 years of age to 30 years of age, I'm just giving you an example. Now to sell those customers, we don't need a store sales, right? Because typically these kind of age group of customers, they are already spending a lot of time online. They are already at social media websites. They already have got smartphone, internet, and all those things with them. So instead of store sales, should we only go with the online sales? Because that's where your cost will be cheaper. Because when you go with the store sales, the cost to distribute is very high. But when you go with the online sales, the cost to distribute might be low. So we might have to very, very intelligently take a decision once we select our customer segment, that to this customer segment, how we are going to sell. So like I will give you example of India. Nowadays, companies are launching mobile phones only at the online platforms. So, for example, Amazon and all. So they are actually not selling their mobile phones, some of them through stores sales. They are only selling online because they know that for such kind of phones which comes in X price range, the customer is always online, so they can easily buy. So you can also think through it in a little bit more detail that my customer, is he happy to go to the store and buy the phone, or is he also happy to go online and buy the phone? If he's happier online, then as a business we might need to go more online than offline. But if customers is happy to go offline, then we might need to go offline, or both might be required, right? So once we do a little bit more research, little bit more surveys with the customers, go and meet them and have conduct some interviews with them, you will be able to identify what exactly is the right channel to serve the customer. Okay.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. Now, last thing which I want to mention is on in terms of revenue and cost structure. That is a very, very detailed subject, because once we agree on all the above points, we need to go and collect a lot of data. That, for example, if we have to set up a factory, how much will be the land cost? How much will be the machinery cost? how much will be the taxations, how much will be the my manpower cost. So all those things we need to bring in over here. And also, if we decide that we want to go online, so how much will be the online setup cost? If we decide we have to go through channel or distributor, then how much will be the channel cost? So all those cost parameters we need to start noting down over here. So that will make our cost structure very, very robust. And when it comes to the revenue side, then we have to think that the kind of phone which we are going to build, how much is customer willing to pay for that phone? That is number one. Then number two, what is my cost and how much profit I want to make on top of this? So we have to either go, this is called cost plus approach, where cost plus my profit is become my sale price. Or another approach is that how much my customer is willing to pay. I take that price and then I launch my product on that price, remove my cost, and then the rest is my profit. So you have to very clearly identify that what is my cost by adding all the parameters. Then clearly say what is my profit I want to make on top of it. And total of these two, will my customer be willing to pay me for that? And if answer is yes, then definitely this business will succeed.
Okay.
Okay. So these were my quick thoughts, but overall good job. If you add these points, then your business plan will become very, very powerful. Okay. So any question you have before we start with the next team?
Yes, okay. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Good job.
Thank you.
Maybe if I can say one thing, what would be interesting here maybe is to look into that one manufacturer in Africa you have mentioned. I'm not aware of this, like who is that and how are they successful and what are they doing? And is there anything basically you can look up from them which helps you to answer all these questions? Maybe, did you read a little in detail about that company, like what they are doing and the African manufacturer you have mentioned before? You said there is one.
Which one?
In the beginning, you said there is one manufacturer of mobile phones in Africa. And my question is, which company is that and how are they doing the business?
I don't know how they are doing business, but there is one mobile phone company in Rwanda, maybe. They started the business in maybe this year. And 2019.
They have not.
That's why we are searching now.
Okay.
But that's a very great point, Chris, which you mentioned. So I would also like to add one thing, that if you know those company names, definitely you should do more research. And there is already a lot of information which is available on their annual reports. So if you go to their websites and you read their annual reports, that already have their cost structure, that already have what kind of technology they are using, and that typically also have about their business strategy. So if we know who is our existing competitor is, it is always a good idea to do a lot of research on those, and also read at least their last couple of years, 2 years annual reports, which they submit to government and to their board. and that's typically every company puts on their website.
Okay, may I add something also?
Please go.
Yes, it's very great job the team has come up with. You have elaborated almost everything, but in this case, I would advise the team to work more on the strength, and in this case, should be the technology. You should clearly mention that, or if you have to make this business to happen, you have to make sure you have a team among yourself, as my colleague just mentioned, or you are working on that you will partner with the very experienced expert in this business, especially on the technology. That should be your key strengths when you want to start such a business in Tanzania, that you have a clear experience on how the phones business or phone manufacturing is done, and that is your strong strengths for you to come in Tanzania, because that is what is lacking completely in most of Tanzania or most of African countries. So either you partner with a very experienced company, or yourself, you make sure you will be coming with a team among yourself who is clearly experienced. The technology should not be an issue in your case. That will be very value adding proposal for you to have a business in Tanzania. But also, you just mentioned about one of the strengths being the raw material availability, the resources. Fortunately, we have a lot of raw materials, but for many other things, not for mobile. I've gone through the actual raw materials which required for mobile phones. Most of them, we are just have iron and a little bit of copper, but most of them are being imported for mobile phones nearby. That's an advantage, that they are from Zimbabwe, Rwanda, Congo, few in South Africa, but most are from China. So that should be in the side of weakness, not in the strength. You have to arrange for importation of raw material from neighboring country or from China. The raw material we have are not for mobile phone manufacturing. We have a lot of others, gold and the diamonds and the rest, but they are not for mobile phones. So the cost, that should be on the side of weakness, of which you have clear planning how to import cheaper raw materials from either neighboring countries or from China, readily refined for you to process. And another thing what I would like to add, on the schedule, on the plan, action plan, as my colleague just explained, you should schedule before even starting manufacturing. You should schedule a detailed research. That will be the first thing. We start with detailed research in terms of market, as my colleague just elaborated on the segmentation of the market. Whom are you facing? Which channel will you use? Where to get the raw material at cheaper price in bulk, so that you cut the cost. All those will need a lot of researching. So I think your first action plan is more detailed field information searching for you to come up with a clear information on how to run such project in Tanzania. That's addition. The rest has been clearly elaborated. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So go on, Mr.
Okay, I think that's great. So can we now start with the next team?
Okay, so please let us share our screen.
Sure.
Okay, so can we start?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, so good day, everyone. Thanks for being here with us today. Allow me to introduce myself again. My name is Rio, and these are my group mates, Yuri and Mairi. We are here today to discuss our business idea, which we think that would be suitable for the business environment in Tanzania, and analyze it. This talk will take about 10 minutes. And if you have questions, we would be glad to answer them after our talk. Okay. Okay, so now let's get down to business. Okay, once again, let me explain about our business idea. As we said yesterday, the business idea that we came up with is setting up schools to learn more about the most advanced technology. Nowadays, Tanzania relies on imports for much of its machinery. Few mechanical products are produced in Tanzania, but the agriculture GDP of Tanzania is very high. Okay. Yeah. And therefore, we propose to set up a professional school where students can acquire the skills necessary for their production. Especially specialize in advanced technology for agriculture. I will give the floor to Yuri to give us further details about this.
Okay, thanks, Leo. The main prospect of this business are students that especially want to innovate in agriculture with cutting-edge technology, and the business generate revenue from their tuition fees, which will be used to make the business even better. This school allows you to learn more or cutting-edge technology by bringing in international instructors. As a result, increase the number of people with such skills will also help to advance Tanzania's machinery production. And the agriculture can be revitalized much more. This business will allow the student to be globally competitive and have higher chances to work abroad, which could allow them to show how skilled they are. To give us more details about this business idea using the SWOT analysis, here is Mary.
Thanks, Yuri. And now I'm going to explain about SWOT analysis of this business plan. And first of all, the strength of this business idea is to provide high quality technology to students. And also it is not only the industrialization, but also the revitalization of agriculture. In addition, since we are going to set up the school in Tanzania, students don't need to go abroad and study there. They do not need to spend much as well, and they can do physical practice of what they have learned. On the other hand, we need to work on the 4 Ps of marketing so that our school will be chosen by the students. We need to think of how to promote it accordingly. We need to consider the pricing of the expenses and their fee. We also need to be mindful of choosing the place where we should establish the school and to focus on which products, skills to be offered and learned in school. We should let the students really work on further. When we try to establish a business, we definitely need to consider about the place to work well. An adequate number of chair, table, facility, and building must be maintained without costing too much. Third point is about opportunity of our business. We got some information that Tanzania government is currently working on industrialization policy. And in addition, so we guess it is possible to deliver some of the opportunities with the government subsidy. This school will produce students who are well equipped and skillful enough using those modern technologies that could help them country into a better one. If our project becomes successful, it will be a great help. It affects people to get new styles of work that it's more efficient and convenient. However, some school might be offering the same thing what our school is focusing on. So we should suggest more creativity and try to advance some sorts of knowledge. Just copied idea would reveal around the world until a few decades. Next will be Yuri.
Thanks, Mary. Next, I will explain about countermeasures for weakness and threat. Our weakness is that we need big cost when we establish a school. We tie up with companies which need workers who have high skills. Then we can receive money from those companies. Next, about threat. We think companies might appear as threat. So we have to come up with something that is totally different from our competitors and to have highly skilled professors who are into those things. Next, Leo explain about Canvas model.
Okay, thanks, Yuri. This is our Canvas model. The key partners are companies which support us instead of sending us talent. The key activities are education on cutting-edge technology for agriculture. The key resources are school buildings, equipment, and instructors. The value propositions are providing a high-quality technology, and it is developing industrialization, but also revitalization of agriculture. Furthermore, the students get the skills without study abroad. Sorry. Okay. And the customer relationships are instructors and students. The channel is just a special education. The customer segments are students, especially young people who want to innovate in agriculture with cutting-edge technology. And cost structure includes establishment costs, personal expense, and maintenance costs. Revenue streams are student tuition, government subsidy, and income from partner companies. Okay, so next part is Miley.
Thanks, Ariel. And as a result of this analysis, if the number of people has scaled increased, we would figure out one secure consequence and 4 possible results. and I would introduce them. And finally, we will finish this presentation. Helping Tanzania's machinery production is mainly benefits, and it probably assures students can work in a variety of factors. Students become globally competitive, work abroad and agriculture in Tanzania can be revitalized much more. To sum up everything, this business idea will be the business that meets a lot of needs because it will be the benefits for training people with the most advanced technologies and allowing them to produce them at home, which will lead the economic development of the country as a whole. In a nutshell, the school which we think of helping students to acquire knowledge about advanced technology would be perfect. This business will not only benefit the founder, but this could also be a great help for those students out there to garner information related to technologies that could help them to be competitive and skillful enough, and to help them have the opportunity to make use of it globally. Thank you for listening.
So great job. I think your ideas were very, very clear through this presentation. And it clearly shows that you have done a lot of research and put through it very well. So congratulations to all of you. So let's discuss now a couple of slides in a little bit more detail. So can you go to the short slide? Yes, that's perfect. Okay, so I think since this is setting up a school or a training center for the people who are into the agriculture business or they are right now farming. So the most important part over here is that uh, for what kind of education system they are very comfortable with, right? And can we convert that into the strength? So for example, if we get a lot of training material or our coaches from outside of the country, will language be a barrier, right? I think that will be the first question which I would like to put, that have you considered the language requirements and how you are going to manage those things from your instructor versus the customers who are going to get trained because of this, and if that is being taken care, then how it will get managed, the language stuff. Any thoughts you guys have on it?
Sorry, what question, please?
Okay, so my question is that typically in this kind of business,
yes.
The language selection plays a very, very important role, because if we hire a trainer, let's say from United States, and we ask them to go and give the training in Tanzania, and that's where to the people who are largely farmers, so will they be able to understand the things in the English language?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So that translates to my previous point where we spoke about customer segmentation. So we clearly need to understand that who is my customer, what is their current behavior is, how they are behaving, how educated they are, which language they are comfortable with, which technology they are comfortable with. And when we understand that subject really well, we will be able to manage that with our business plan. Because if it is a live session where we want them to come into a classroom environment, having a table, chairs, and all those setup in place, then our teacher, I mean, who is teaching them, should be able to communicate them in the language they understand. So my first question is that understand, or first thought over here is understand the customer really well, and then translate them into your strengths. Right. The second thing is, again, it links to the new innovations which are happening in the agriculture space, and not only in Tanzania but all over the world. So how we are going to adopt to those innovations and then convert them into training material to train our customers onto that. So that innovation and what is our plan to keep learning about those new innovation all over the globe, that becomes a very important subject as well, right? So if we work upon that upfront, that could be our strength. Otherwise, that can easily translate into our weakness. So, for example, you work on, let's say, a lot of business models, you develop your courses, your contents, and let's say that new technology comes in and that actually gets irrelevant. So how you are going to manage this?
Okay. Actually, it's one of the threats of us to improve those kind of situations. But so we definitely answered about these threats.
Right.
Threat into two.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Well,
okay. And yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah.
And if we go to the opportunities, if you can go back to the same slide again.
Okay.
So that's where I think you've done a good job. So that you clearly understand that what is government focus is, and they also like will be helping such kind of businesses through subsidiary model and other things. So that can become a very, very important factor, right? So if you take example of countries like Singapore, so every school or training institute over there, very clearly they factor in government subsidiary, because government budget for the trainings in schools is very, very high, and that has been very well considered by every training institutes over there. So similarly, if we understand government policies really well, that how much their budget is and how they are going to support such kind of businesses, that can become a great opportunity. So really good job over there. Now in terms of weaknesses, so that's right now I feel that it's a little bit generic right now, because price, place, promotion, product, that's actually for every business this will apply. So my suggestion would be to work on a little bit more specific weaknesses over here with your current business plan. Like price could not be just a weakness, right? You weaknesses, in my view, over here could be that the team who is going to run that business might not be comfortable with languages, or a weakness could be that nowadays a lot of content is available online for free. So will your students take those content online, or will they come and pay you to get trained on those kind of things? So such kind of things could become part of weaknesses, where you have to clearly work out for this specific business, what is our weakness? Okay. And threats is also a good point you've covered up over here. where you said that the existing schools offering same courses could actually be a big threat. So that's a very relevant point over here. The answer to this threat could be that you might want to develop a material in a way which is very, very easy to understand. It could have some practicals, it could have, let's say, farm kind of setup there where they can practically see how these technologies are helping. Or you can also do copyright on the material which you develop so that no one can copy those material and then become threat to your business. So having getting a copyrights, getting the trademarks and all those restrictions on your business idea can also become helpful to such kind of threats where the thing which you innovate, someone else can copy and deliver it. So that you might also want to consider. Okay. Now if we can go to the business model canvas slide. Fantastic. Okay, so I think if we can discuss them one by one. So on the key partner side, you said companies which needs high skill labor forces. I think that's a very good point you mentioned because you need to get those people placed who gets trained through your courses. But another partnerships you will need is the people who are or the companies who are involved in agriculture research. So what kind of research they are doing and can that become part of your material? That could be one thing. The second one could be over here is that you might need to maybe partner with some existing education institutes. So this is the term which is very popular these days. It's called co-opetition, which I mentioned yesterday as well, where you are not competing with your competitor, but you are actually partnering with your competitor. Okay, so one threat could be that existing education institutes is threat for me. But what you can do is you can go to any existing education institute and say you are doing some courses right now. I wanted to add on one more course or a couple of more courses on the agriculture revitalization, and then together we will do it for our students. So that can become another strategy where in a very fast way you can actually deliver and you are actually partnering with your competition. So that becomes a very, very popular. So I can give you many examples. There are online courses now available where universities like MIT and Columbia Business School are partnering, and together they are delivering the courses now. So I've just gone through a course a few months ago, and where both the universities have partnered and delivered that course, right? So when you see them independently, they are actually competitions, but together they are building up a course and delivering it into the market. That can become a good business strategy as well. Okay. Now, the next thing which I would like to also highlight is, so you have done a good job in terms of identifying the customer segment, that these are young people who want to innovate in agriculture. So that's a great job that you very clearly identified the segment, the young population, which is in X age bucket, and people who are involved in agriculture bucket. So that's a great. So you clearly know how exactly who is my customer is. Now you might need to challenge that with the channels you have put in over here. So if these are young people, and when you go and see their behavior, if they are very comfortable with online trainings, why we have to set up the physical things? So my question to you would be that why can't it becomes a completely online training institute so that your cost to set up is very, very low? Or why can't you do a setup with the recorded courses? So you might record the courses, and if language is a barrier, you can convert those courses into a local language stuff and then deliver those courses online to the students. So that's just one thought. If you do a little bit more research on this subject, you might be able to very clearly articulate that through what channel you're going to deliver your business to your customer. Okay. And on the cost and revenue side, my feedback remains the same as previous session, previous team, that we might need to, so good points you mentioned over there, but you might need to work upon a little bit more with the numbers, that how exactly the cost will line up in terms of values for each of these: establishment cost, personnel cost, maintenance cost, and one more important factor you might want to add is marketing cost. Because in service business, marketing becomes a very, very important thing. So then work out on the numbers for each of these cost parameter, that how and where exactly how much money we are going to spend, and then again link that back with the how much students would be ready to pay, and whether the differences of these two is a profitable business. So work upon on those areas. Okay, so I think most of the other points we have covered in previous discussion as well. So I'm not repeating those, but overall good job. If you cover these points as well, then your business plan will become more powerful.
Thank you.
Perfect. Awesome. Any other question you have?
Nothing at all. Thank you.
Chris, David, you want to add anything on this stuff?
Just a question. On the customer segment, your proposal has been to add on technology on machinery, manufacturing, or for industrialization in Tanzania. And the second objective is to add value on agricultural activities. So, but in your customer segmentation, I can see you are only focusing on agriculture improvement. You are not mentioning if you are targeting the technical know-how, how to manufacture or how to use various machining for various industry apart from agriculture itself alone. So are you changing your objective, your business proposal, only focusing on agriculture, or you also including other, because as I said yesterday, Tanzania is industrializing, so there are a lot of factories starting which you need technicians, engineers. So before I thought your proposal is focusing also how to add know-how, technical know-how on those young generation for future working in various industries in technical. So my question is, are you only focusing on agriculture, or also you are focusing on another group of machinery operations or machinery manufacturing and so forth?
Oh, we are still in the manufacturing some technology.
Okay.
But technology of agriculture, just so research the Tanzanians crops are made by the hand, and it's not convenient, I think. Then
yes.
we guess we should offer some of the machines to work easily and efficiently. So we are still under the
Machinery.
Yes, machinery.
Okay, machinery, but specifically those machines which operate in agricultural activities.
Yes.
Okay, so if that's the case, then okay, if that's the case, then you resolve other issues. That's what I mean, which I explained, like language barrier. Most of these they will be young from school, so they can speak English, they can fluently, because they are the ones either they are going to teach how to operate the machine. Those farmers who won't be your case, won't be your target now. Your target will be these technical young generation who are going to operate the machines or train the other farmers. Okay, okay, that's very clear. Most of the points have been clearly explained. I think you did a great job. Okay.
I think one area here, this revenue streams needs to be worked on a little better. The point of student tuition, this is something where I think in Tanzania you cannot expect too much for financing that as a business. Yeah, there are families who are able to pay, let's say, high amounts for education of their children. Those are perfectly able to send their children to abroad, studying abroad. Yeah, like United Arab Emirates or UK or so. These are typical countries. Then also the government subsidy. I mean, I guess David is more familiar with these things, but also this is not sure whether that will work out and whether it will kind of finance a substantial amount. So I think one thing to look into it is also international cooperation. Yeah, like development monies from other countries investing in Tanzanian development. That is something I would research there.
Yes.
And then also like public-private partnerships with companies basically that offer innovative financing models of education in exchange for having qualified staff. Yeah, so they can provide loans or scholarships, or also make it conditional that there is something like if you have a certain success in your studies, you don't have to pay back the full amount of the loan or something like that. Yeah, so I think these are something to kind of do more research and kind of come up with clearer concepts.
Yes, yes.
Maybe Girish, maybe you know that I think the situation is similar in India in this aspect, like what ways work for such kind of education providers. If you are also targeting people as students who are, let's say, from a lower income bracket.
No, that is so true, and that's where the lot of struggle comes in. And you've correctly mentioned that public-private partnership makes an important role over there, because government already have like a lot of budgets and subsidiaries in such areas, and if that can be translated through such business ideas, it can actually give benefit both to the government and as well as can generate a good business plan out of it.
Yeah. And again, on that business canvas, the channel is not education. The channel is the way you are going to deliver. If it's machinery, the way you are going to deliver that technology, that knowledge to the focus. If it will be physical, that then there will be physical environment. But also you have been given another option. Maybe you can segment based on the research you will come up. If you might have a group, few days like part-time thing, they come for field practical in the center. So the channel might be either online, some online programs, and the other physical lodge students.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah. So I think as a next step, I would like to recommend 3 points, and that to both the teams. So number one, if you can incorporate feedback and create the next version of the SWOT analysis, I think that will be really great. The number two is similarly incorporate all the feedbacks and then create the next version of value proposition. I think that will be item number two. And then action number three is once you develop these two things, you should try to build up a 5-year cash flow for your business. So that will be the numbers which we spoke on the cost and revenue side. So if you and I can email some template if that is required. So what you have to do is that on next 5 year, year on year, on each of the components on your revenue model, how much money you can receive from your customers. Then on each of the points on your cost side, how much money you are going to spend. So if you note down those things for next 5 years of your business plan, you will be very clearly know that what is my cash inflow or where is my cash outflow is, and what exactly the profit or the net cash which we are going to earn. So these are the three actions which I would like to give to both the teams, and then I think your business plan will become more robust. Okay, so any thoughts on these actions or any question you have? Okay, so it's a great job. Really a great outcome. Both of the teams has put it in let's say just 1 day turnaround time. So just work on these few points which we have discussed, and then you will be in a very good position in terms of having your business plan and your business idea ready. So thank you so much. Thanks. That's it from my side.
Thank you for some advice.
Thank
Great.
you. Thank you very much.
Yes, maybe to just to add on what my colleague has just spoken. At this stage, the final product would have been, you end up with a short summary of what proposed, the way you do it. Now, by incorporating those feedback I just got, which we call a business concept note or business concept paper, which further end up to have a complete business plan. So the way my colleague just explained, now summarize your all points or all business proposal. It's a short document, which we call it a business concept note, which further in future, as you get more information, you improve on it, and you go in detail to come up with eventually to the complete business plan. Okay.
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 Okay, fantastic. Any other last thoughts before we conclude the session?
Minasan, お疲れ様でした。お疲れ様でした。どうでしたか？ちょっとじゃあ一人ずつ簡単に英語でも日本語でもいいので、ちょっとコメントもらったりとかしても大丈夫そうですか？まあ、大丈夫そうですかというか、してもらおうかなと思います。じゃあ、じゃあ、どうしようかな。じゃあ、ロンさんからお願いしましょうか。
It was my first time to think marketing strategy. And I think it's a very important experience in my life.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, sorry. I just talked earlier in Japanese, so just let me just explain what I said earlier in English. Yeah,
Sure.
I was just asking all participants to give us the comment. I mean, like each one of them. Yeah. So yeah. So if you also have some feedback or comments for like those individuals, feel free to do it. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Ron-san. Great job. And じゃあ山さんお願いします。
Thank you for 3 days. At first, I think I can't understand you said, and I very confused. But so everyone supports us, so I get the information about the marketing. So thank you very much.
Thank you too. Okay, thank you too. Then Leo-san.
Okay, so thank you for your variation time. It was a very stimulating time, and I feel that I still have a lot to learn. So someday, yeah, I want to go to Tanzania. So thank you very much.
Good. Thank you. Misaki-san.
Yes, thank you for advising and thank you for supporting everything to us. And it is my very important experience because I haven't much time to make presentation in English, and it's my first time to thinking marketing. So and I understand I don't have much skills to think deeply and specifically. So I have 2 years to graduate for my university. So I want to improve my skill until then. Thank you very much.
Great job. Okay, then Yuri-san.
Yes, actually, I think we have not enough time. So, in my opinion, we can't prepare presentation enough. So, I want to search more information about Tanzania related our business idea. So, but this presentation time is in special time for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Milei-san. Milei-san.
Thank you for everyone to listen us and teach us, because I guess this weekend is the most busiest weekend in this year because COVID-19 affects us, and so for us, our daily life. So I'm very happy to meet you guys and also be sufficient to experience this kind of great experience. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, supervisor side, do you guys have any comments and feedback more? Okay. はい、ありがとうございます。 今回のビジネスキャンバスっていうのが、ちょっと今回ビジネスキャンバス、スワット分析、ビジネスキャンバスって言ったんですけれども、ちょっと次のステップとして、今回はちょっとビジネスキャンバスまでで終わるんですが、これってビジネスコンセプトプランの、最後の段階になるんですね。で、次に本当にビジネスをやっていこうってなった時に、アクションプラン等に移るという、実際そういうフェーズがあります。なので、今回の、プログラムでは、ここまでスワット分析、ビジネス、コンセプト、という形になります。で、お疲れ様でした。皆さん、本当に時間がない中、すごいクリエイティブなアイデアですね、ビジネスアイデアで、しかもプレゼンテーションまでしっかり準備してて、忙しかったと思うんですが、今回をきっかけに、ちょっといろいろと、多分日本の大学のやり方とかとも、違ったところとかも見えたんじゃないかなと思いますので、今後の皆さんの活躍の際にこういった今回学んだことを活かしてもらえたら嬉しいなと思います。はい、じゃあ、私たちの方からは以上です。ちかさん、まゆみさん。ちかさん、まゆみさん。
大丈夫です。ありがとうございました。はい。それでは皆さん退出していただいて大丈夫です。
じゃあ、ファイナライズ頑張ってください。最後、フィードバックかなありがと
う
ございました。
あ
りがとうございました。
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございました。
Thank you.